there are a few things that you should never do together, especially if you're not married to each other. That's what we're talking about in this video. Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and make sure you leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Today, you're going to get blessed. Let's dive into this. Now, when you're in the dating phase, it's important to know exactly the parameters that you need to be within, especially if you're a Christian and you want to do dating the right way. What I want you to understand is that in the dating phase, there are some things that are permissible, things that you can do and no one will stop you, things that you can do and nobody will come to say, what are you doing? Or maybe you shouldn't do this or that. But those things may not be beneficial in the long run. There are certain things that you should never do when it comes to the dating phase or the courting phase. Number one, you should never mix your finances. The temptation that comes is that when you love each other and you're committed to each other, you have this thing where you're like, we're building a future together. So why not mix our finances? Why not plan together? Why not do businesses together? Why not invest and even save together? One thing I want you to understand is that anything can happen in a dating relationship. And when there are finances involved, most of the times people lose their ability to see red flags in a relationship. And when finances are also involved, it just becomes a source of conflict. Because at that point, you're not yet at a level where the relationship has the right foundation to support such type of investments. And it's really important for you to understand this. Okay, because the argument that people have is that, well, I've known some people who actually did this successfully. But one thing I want you to understand is we have also seen stories of people who actually made huge losses financially just because they trusted their dating partner with their money. And so anything can happen. People can leave you. Relationships end. And so make sure you keep the finances out. In the dating phase, focus on building that connection. That relationship. Focus on knowing each other. That's what matters in the dating phase. You will do this planning, investing, and even doing businesses together. When you get married, you have a lifetime to do this stuff. Don't rush. I know it looks like a good idea. You have a readily available team with your partner, so why not do it? Believe me, it's not wise. There are so many people who have been used in this area. I've counseled so many people in the past week, actually females, who are part of a relationship where the man is actually using them for money. I'm telling you, these things are happening. And so we see people who are paying school fees for each other. People who are doing, we've seen stories that have happened successfully. And we've also seen stories that have ended tragically. So if I had to give counsel to someone to say, is it the right thing for you to actually mix up your finances with your partner before you get married to them? My answer would be a strong no. Keep these things separately. Okay? Keep them separate. Keep them separate. Wait until a covenant of marriage has been enacted. That's when you can actually move on those things. Okay? Number two, make sure you keep your bodies separate. I know it's so tough right now, especially in our generation. You go on social media, you see so many girls who are just naked, literally naked on social media. You turn around, you see people talking about sex. You turn around, you see porn stars having discussions as if porn is not a shameful thing. Everything that you see in our culture nowadays, in our world now, you will notice that is so hyper-sexualized. And so it becomes very difficult for you to think purely, for you to actually choose purity in your day-to-day work. And when you look at your peers, you're seeing them compromising, doing things that are not right before the eyes of God. And then you begin to wonder to say, is it possible for us to actually live purely in a relationship? Is it possible for us to stay 4 years without really doing inappropriate things and actually get married and have a good time there? Okay? And one of the narratives that has been espoused in our time is that you don't want to marry a virgin because you have struggles in your sex life, especially when you start the marriage. But what I want you to understand is these are all lies of the enemy that is trying to feed people so that they can come to a place where they don't see purity as the right option. This is the devil trying to bring people to a place where they have to believe that impurity is the only option and there is nothing wrong with it. What I want you to understand is just because something is common, it doesn't make it right. Okay, so make sure you stay true to the word of God. Purity is possible. Purity is something that you can actually do. Okay, I was in a dating relationship for 4 years and nothing impure ever happened. Why? Because we held on to the value of the Word of God. And so we made sure that we stuck with it no matter what the world was saying. So you can make a decision today to say, we're going to live pure in a relationship. And I believe it will happen for you because God is able to give you abundant grace. So number 3, you should also never mix your places of residence. Okay, the temptation is always that there's nothing wrong in sleeping in the same house as far as you're not doing anything wrong. Okay, but now sometimes we really forget that the devil has existed way longer than us. Okay, you can never outwit him. Don't think you're too strong for temptation. Okay, make sure you are putting yourself in a position where it will become easier to please God and not to fall into temptation. There is no wisdom in actually sharing a place of residence when you're not married to each other, because you're inviting the enemy. Literally, you're inviting the enemy. Believe me, it will be a matter of time before you compromise. Don't be in each other's places of residence at awkward hours. Make sure you have boundaries. Even if you're visiting each other from a faraway place, make sure you don't stay in the same place. It's really important. Make sure you remain separate. Keep yourselves pure. Sometimes self-control is not necessarily about being a strong person in yourself, really. It's also about just putting the right type of boundaries in your life that can help you say no easily. Okay? So most of the people who have remained pure and people who have stayed self-controlled, they're not necessarily people who are the most disciplined. Sometimes it's simply people who made sure that they had boundaries in their lives. And those boundaries made it easy for them to say no to ungodliness and to say yes to godliness. So you have to make a decision today to actually put in place things and parameters that can help you live pure. Okay, that's very, very important for you to understand. So this is all I had for you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Please tell me what you think in the comment section below. Make sure you like and subscribe this channel. Thank you so much. Until next time, have a good one.